everyone. I am back from vacation. I'm with Danielle Moody. We're doing a special Tuesday check-in because I couldn't make Monday because I was flying, and I'm back. And folks, I was just telling Danielle to buckle up because Danielle's like, why are so many people pissed off at you? And we'll talk about all of it, and it all coincides so beautifully with what's been happening. Trump is literally falling asleep as we speak during a live cabinet hearing as Marco Rubio is addressing him, fell asleep. Cameras on him, fell asleep. We still don't know why he got a second MRI. We know because clearly the man is dying. 79 years old, cankled. We still don't know why he went and got another checkup at Walter Reed, despite already having one. This man, it seems clearly his mouth does this a lot, which means he might have most likely suffered from a stroke. We got the blotches on his skin. He's negative double digits since we've talked. He is lowest approval rating of his administration. He's hovering around 36% approval. Negative double digits on immigration, negative double digits on the economy, which is going to get worse, negative double digits on the Epstein files. And as this is happening, you're seeing the knives come out. This Pete Hegseth scandal, we'll talk about Kristi Noem scandal. This can only happen with leaks from deep within MAGA.
Yeah.
Right. Also, what you see is Kash Patel. Did you see how the FBI is mocking Kash Patel? Amazing. The leaks that apparently he stayed inside the jet until they could find him an FBI jacket, and the only FBI jacket they could find is a woman's medium jacket. I mean, it is amazing. So it's all crumbling down, folks. And as it's crumbling down, if you hopefully, unlike me, had a normal, healthy Thanksgiving, Danielle, you weren't paying attention to the meltdown. Donald Trump yesterday did 400 unhinged posts on Thanksgiving midnight. He did hateful posts against Somalis, against Muslims, essentially said, me and Danielle come from third world countries, talked about protecting Western civilization. The Department of Homeland Security again tweeted remigrate for the second time, which is a white supremacist synonym, not conspiracy, that is about ethnic cleansing. The Department of Labor, I don't know if you saw it, Danielle, did the post with the 11 stars of the Confederacy around Lincoln's head. That was the Department of Labor, excuse me. You had DHS, Department of Labor. Then you had all the State Department use words American sovereignty yesterday. And then you had Kristi Noem essentially talking about, seemingly a full blanket a ban on people coming in. And then I also want to remind people that in the first Trump administration, this is nothing new. He talked about he didn't want people coming from shithole countries. So as all this is happening, Danielle, they have no responses for the economy. They're not going to release the Epstein files. They're doubling down on immigration by sending 500 more National Guard members to be targets in D.C. Their attempt to go against this Afghan national shooting suspect has fallen apart because it seems like he was radicalized by the CIA because he was part of the CIA's Zero Unit, super vetted, and was given asylum during the Trump administration. Pete Hegseth is throwing anybody and everybody under the bus for clearly what he did, which was a war crime by ordering a double tap and killing these innocent, most likely fishermen who were hanging for dear life by the side of the boat. It's all crumbling down. And as it's crumbling down, Danielle, I don't know if you've been following, they've gone all in. I mean, all in on neo-Nazi language, white supremacist language, remigration. I don't know if you've been on Twitter, Elon Musk. I don't know if you followed his thing. It's all about white genocide. This is them playing for all the marbles, and I piss them off because I call them out. Danielle, I set the table. I'll give it to you.
Thank you so much for inviting me to your table. So here's what I'll say, and I'm gonna take from you. Let's take the time machine back to 2016, the 2016 presidential election. I'm on television. I'm doing coverage for Canadian broadcast channel CBC, Canada's CNN. And that night, I sit there in the chair, and I'm in between David Frum and Ashley Banfield. And I'm asked, Danielle, what do you think what do you think this election means, right? And I said that night, and I'll say it again. Now we're almost 10 years later. This is white supremacy's last stand in America. I said it on election night 2016. Why did I say that? Because everything that America had experienced for the 8 years, right, which I will call Reconstruction 2.0, because we know that following the Civil War, Reconstruction only lasted for 12 years before the president of the United States at that time sold out, right, the formerly enslaved, sold them out in order to appease the slaveholders. They gave them, right, reparations, right, for the loss in income from their exploited free labor, right? It lasted 12 years. This is similarly, Obama's 8 years in office were like our blip of Reconstruction 2.0. And what freaked out people and what we weren't paying attention to at the time, because we thought that progress in America was a steady line as opposed to a constant case of whiplash that we get every time that there is an advancement, we forget about the white lash that comes. Donald Trump was the response to Barack Obama. He was the response to America's multiculturalism. He was the response to this idea that we all are Americans, regardless of our ethnicity, our race, our country of origin, our religion, our gender identity, our sexual orientation, et cetera, our abilities, et cetera. Obama represented the possibility of what America could be. Donald Trump is the other side of that coin. Donald Trump represented for white Americans the status quo, and not even the status quo, but the belief that you could turn the clock back all the way back to pre-1950s era, where there were no civil rights, where there were no women's rights, where there were no LGBTQ rights, where there were no rights for special needs people, for people with disabilities. This is what Donald Trump has consistently represented over the last 10 years. An overt regression to the time when white, cis, hetero men had no checks, no balances, no guardrails, and could do whatever the hell they want. It was a lovely fantasy that Donald Trump was giving to poor, middle or poor and working class white Americans and those that are in the higher echelons that saw him as their piggy bank. He will give us the tax breaks. He will give us the government contracts. He will be our daddy and do all of these things. And I don't have to worry about these pesky brown and black people. I don't have to worry about pronouns. I don't have to worry about acceptance. I don't have to worry about treating women equally. I can just take, extract, harm, harm, harm. This is where we are. Why is all of this happening? Why is Donald Trump tweeting now? Fast forward to the present. Why is he posting on his broke down social media platform 100 times in a fucking day
400.
like a fucking lunatic? Right? Why is he doing this? Because they are terrified. Because no one with any kind of sense or a real job has the ability to fucking post on social media 400 times a day. I just want folks to think about your own work day, your own lives, whether you are an entrepreneur, a solopreneur, or working at a company or organization. In what day, in what 24-hour span do you have time to post 400 fucking times? And in what other context would that not immediately invoke some type of alarm in the people around you that something is wrong, that there is some type of breakdown that is happening? But we take this as normal from Donald Trump. The fact is that they are escalating with their white nationalist fantasy fever dreams. They are escalating with their desire to rid this country of every black and brown person, every queer person. Why? Because everything that they touch is shit. Everything is fucking failing. They have no excuse for anything. Donald
Yep.
Trump's tariffs are tanking the economy. His AI investments is about to cause like the devastation of the job market. You have like people
The crypto burst is going to
the
happen.
crypto scheme and bubble that is about to burst. All of these things, the Epstein files that were just voted on, right? and he has now 14 days, 2 weeks to release those files, right? We know that this is not going to happen. So what are they doing? They're doing this magnificent wag the dog. Venezuela is their target, not for drugs, but because it has $18 trillion worth of oil reserves that they want control over for their AI data centers, for or their mineral resources, and for just the fact that they are neo-colonialists that want to fucking gobble up and control Venezuela. So, folks, like, that is a long way of saying at the dinner table that you have set, Waj, that everything that we are seeing right now and everything that we are going to see is a distraction from their abject failures that they have no fucking excuse for. And the fact is that their failures, right, have moved, like, they can't control the narrative anymore. They can't control this scaffolding of fantasy and lies that they have put around Donald Trump, that they have worked double time with Fox News, because they can't even lie anymore about the poll numbers, about what people are feeling and seeing. Whether or not they release the job numbers, people know they're jobless. Whether or not they release, what is happening with the economy, with their reports, people know what they are seeing when they go to the grocery store. So I think that we all need to buckle the fuck up, because I have a feeling that a lot of things are going to get exponentially worse, meaning that ICE is going to become increasingly violent, and going to be everywhere all at once, so that's where our attention is going. And hopefully we forget about the economy, Epstein, the grift that is happening in front of our faces, etc.
I just invited all the trolls, all the chutias, all the right-wing MAGA keyboard warriors, all the wannabe cosplay crusaders, all the people who would shit on their asses who eat bland chicken and support white supremacy. I just invited them on Twitter. I said, hey, I'm going to address all my comments and controversies and Donald Trump's racism. So welcome. Hi. And I want to be very clear to those who are watching or those who are going to watch and take these clips out of context and post them on Fox and Breitbart like they have. And I want to just speak to you directly. If you're a white supremacist and a white nationalist or a neo-Nazi or a person who supports what Trump and Kristi Noem and all these hate mongers have said over the past few days, that we should remigrate, which is a white supremacist term for ethnic cleansing, that we have to save Western civilization from people who come from third world countries. We still haven't defined third world countries, but we know what they're talking about, Danielle, black and brown people. If you believe me and Danielle, you're going to denaturalize us. You're going to send us back. You're going to end birthright citizenship. You're going to undo Immigration Nationality Act. I want to quote Kristi Noem. She said yesterday that Trump will, quote, enact a full travel ban on every damn country that's been flooding our nation with killers, leeches, and entitlement junkies, end quote. I'm assuming that's black and brown people. If you support the young Republican leaders who are caught with 2,900 pages of Telegram messages saying, I love Hitler, and seeing the white supremacist 1488 and threatening to throw the rest of us in the gas chambers. And you think rape is epic, and you support Nick Fuentes and the Groypers and the conspiracy theories of white replacement and white genocide. This is for you. You lost. You are losers. You have already lost. You just don't know it yet. You've lost. There's too many of us. There's too many Wadges. There's too many Danielles. There's too many white folks who get it. White, black, brown. It's just racism is a social construct, right? People are just people. They're just melanin. The multicultural diversity, the multicultural coalition is strong. It is the majority people. There are 8 billion of us. And specifically, your ire is against people who look like me and Danielle. Let's be honest. Donald Trump said, why can't people come from Norway? He just ranted against Somalians. He spread hate against Haitians. Haitians who made Springfield, Ohio great. They knew that Nazi conspiracy they were spreading was wrong. Wall Street Journal reported. They still did it. To this day, JD Vance still does it, right? So I'm addressing you, and I really want you to just listen. You have lost. You are losers. Your ideology is one of losers. Your narrative is a loser's narrative. Your monoculture sucks. Enjoy your shit-stained ass and your bland, unseasoned chicken. And I'll say again what I said a couple of days ago. If you do manage to get rid of us, the ones who come from third world countries, the one who have melanin, the one who you think are leeches, right? The one you think are killers, the entitlement junkies, just black or brown folks, biracial folks, and also white folks, because they think white people who don't follow along are what? Race traders. That's what they used to call them in the 60s and 70s, race traders, right? Your country, which is my country, by the way, America, will turn into a shithole. Trump is already turning into a shithole. People aren't coming to this country. We're becoming a pariah. Our freaking brand has fallen from plus 15 to -3. We've lost billions of dollars from loss of tourism. We've increased measles. We've increased now polio is coming back, which means countries are going to say, we don't want these freaking polio, measles infected Americans coming. Canada has said, all right, peace out. We're going to go to China. Brain drain with all our brilliant scientists literally being poached by China and Europe. The world is uniting against us. Literally, they have literally harmed this country and are on the verge of destroying it. And what I've said and you've said in the analogy we've given, and our friend Jonathan Metzl, comes on your show, has said in his great book, Dying of Whiteness, the analogy he gave that I also gave was if given a choice between sharing the home with the rest of us who come from third world countries and shithole countries or burning down the house, Danielle, they have elected to burn down the
The
village.
country. They've
And
elected to burn down the country.
that's your point. They're playing for all the marbles. Look at what's happening, folks. And I want people to, you know, I did this yesterday, a couple of days ago, Danielle, and people freaked out. Remember when Mamdani, and you know this, I know this, we come from these, you were children of immigrants, the older generation, because they had to endure so much, what do they say? Danielle, don't, just keep it down. Don't be so bold. Don't make them angry, right? So the last couple of days, people said, Waj, I saw some clips, and they said, just why do you say so much? You're getting them angry. And my response is, they're always angry. They're
Right.
like the Hulk from Event. They're angry at Bad Bunny because he's Puerto Rican. They're angry at a black mermaid. They're angry at a hijabi. They're angry at Ilhan Omar. They're angry at Danielle. They're angry for transgender people existing. They're always angry. They will always be angry because they don't want people like us here. And what makes them most pissed off, Danielle, is when people like you and me look them right in the eye, mock them to their face, and say, what's up, doc? And eat our carrot. Nothing pisses them off more than mocking them, ridiculing them. They hate it. Look at Donald Trump. I'll give you an example. Women, people of color, immigrants, black people. A woman asks him last two women, female reporters have asked him simple questions. What do you say? Quiet, piggy. Then what did he say last week? Shut up. You're an idiot, right? Because they're weak. You white supremacists, you triple Trumpers who still love him because of his racism. That's what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about the white folks who are with me and Danielle and the majority of people around the world. The ones who still love him. You're fragile. You have weak chins. You have weak knees. You have weak cankles. You can dish it, but you can't take it. This is your all out assault, right? This is the death rattle of white supremacy, which has become a death march. And my fear for America, Danielle, and what we've seen in the past week,
Mm-hmm.
it's as they're going down, they're bringing everything down. Look at Pete Hegseth
Yeah.
throwing
Yeah.
everything under the bus, the economy, everything. They'll
Everything.
bring everything down, Danielle. And you said, and
Because
I'll end my rant,
it's
I said exactly
self-destructive.
what you said when I was on BBC World. I remember 2016 leading up to the election. I said something that I remember the white host, his brain melted on live television. I said, Donald Trump is the death rattle of white supremacy. He goes, white supremacy? What do you mean? I said, he represents this death rattle of white supremacy. They're playing for all the marbles. And I remember all the people of color in London that tweeted, this is Wajhat Ali, this brown guy, he said it. All of our colleagues who are the corporate centrists and the white folks, they kept saying economic anxiety. 10 years later, Daniel, maybe they'll finally agree we're dealing with racists playing for all the marbles. Sorry for my rant.
No, I mean, but here's the thing. Centrists are not going to agree, right? And people who want to pretend, because here's the thing, that we're here because America has been so invested in make believe. It has been so invested in American exceptionalism. It has been so invested with we're not racist because I voted for Barack Obama twice. So invested in the lie of what America has been indoctrinating us to believe that anyone that calls out the truth is then a traitor, is a terrorist, is the problem to be fix. It's a problem that you're speaking out and telling the truth, not the system actually being the problem. Because it's better to blame the messenger than it is actually to look at the system that is now corrupting all of us. It was fine when America was just failing Black people, when it was just failing Latinos, when it was just failing gay people, when it was just failing trans people. But now that America has started to actually fail everyone because of the lack of leadership and strategy and intelligence that we have that is in charge, right? Now, all of a sudden, folks are beginning to wake up. But again, Waj, they will still point to everything. Well, if Donald Trump just gets a hold of the economy, then like everything will be great. You're asking a bank robber, right, to become some type of venture fucking capitalist. No, he's a bank robber because he gives a fuck only about himself and what he can smash and grab. The economy, right, is about caring about what is happening overall. Donald Trump doesn't give a fuck about the economy, right? Like he's running a crypto grift so that he can get as much as much flattery through gold bricks and through and through all of this like quid pro quo, right? Like that's why his crypto is as hot as it is, right? Why do you think that Donald Trump didn't launch that when he was out of office? Because he's much more valuable, right? When he is in office, he has much more power and control. And so you say, how do I make the most out of this grift, right? Let me do a meme coin that nobody is tracking, and then I create the policy that ensures that nobody is going to track or regulate or do anything, so that I can have this bank robbery in broad fucking daylight. So
Genius
my
act.
like my whole feeling is that like we need, I know that people say, Danielle and Waj, don't use white supremacy, use this term, use this other term, and I'm like, why use 10 words when 2 will do, right? Like we are talking about white supremacy, white nationalism. We are talking about the aspirations of the Confederate that they are trying to bring back. And the reason why it's going to fail is because there are, to your point, way more of us than there are of them. Right. And I don't mean just Black, brown, people of racialized and ethnic minorities. I mean that there are much more people that are invested in a multiracial democracy. Right. And bringing down a capitalist system that they now see as extractive than there are these people that think that Pete Hegseth is doing a good fucking job. Right. That actually think that Sean Duffy knows what the fuck he's doing as the Secretary of Transportation. Right? These people they are the best examples that we can use for people who say, like, Donald Trump only has the best people. These people are fucking idiots, right?
That's right.
And all they know how to do is lie, right? And the lie only works with people who are not invested in the truth, who are not in, even if the truth is inconvenient or uncomfortable. And that is that is less and less people, right? Because they are beginning to see, like, oh my God, this is really fucking me over. This is really going to hurt my kids. This is really going to hurt my family, right? Who wants to raise kids in this environment? You have 3. I have nieces and nephews. Like, what is America going to be for them in 10, 15, 20, 25, 30 years?
5 years. 5 years, Danielle. And to your point, and there's something that I really want to highlight because it reveals the bankruptcy of MAGA, the hypocrisy of MAGA, and how Donald Trump, I think he's dying. I don't think he gives an F anymore. And I'll give you an example why they're playing for all the marbles. What Danielle and I have often said on the show, for those who have watched us, for those who are coming for the first time, welcome. This is Danielle Moody's Damn Digest, in which out please the left hook. We're terrible capitalists and everything is free. Please become a subscriber. But I digress. Um, Donald Trump, last couple of days ago, said, we have to declare war on the traffickers. We have to declare war on all these immigrants bringing drugs. I'm going to pardon the ex-president of Honduras, who was serving a 45-year sentence for drug trafficking and worked with drug cartels. We're against the leeches. I want to give you again Kristi Noem's quote. All right, here we go. We're going to enact a full travel ban on every damn country that's been flooding our nation with killers, leeches, and entitlement junkies. That's an exact quote. All right, 2 days ago, already out of the news. Trump commutes 7-year prison sentence of former private equity CEO David Gentile. Days after his sentence began, he was a CEO of a firm that fraudulently defrauded thousands of Americans to the tune of more than $1 billion. This is a man who literally pardoned George Santos, who defrauded his donors. This is a man who pardoned the founder of Silk Road, the digital hub of sex trafficking, drug trafficking, and money laundering. This is the man who pardoned CZ, his business partner, the co-founder of Binance, the platform on which him and his Tweedledee and Tweedledum sons have made $3 to $5 billion on this bullshit crypto. When asked why did he pardon CZ, this cankled, dying carcass of gelatinous shit said, "Who's CZ? I have no idea. Who's that? Huh?" All right. This is literally what's happened in the past 2 weeks. All right. As Danielle, can imagine being this stupid that you literally say, we're going to declare on Venezuela, we're going to shut down the airspace, we're not going to go against drug cartels. Oh, by the way, I'm just going to pardon this guy for no reason who's 45 years sentence for
It's
helping
not for
drug
no
cartels.
reason. Like, this is the thing
I
that
mean,
we have to
part the
understand.
grit,
It ain't for
part
no
the grit.
reason. Yeah, it ain't for no reason. All of the people that you are naming are deeply in bed with the Trump organization, right? So Binance guy is the one that is behind their crypto scheme, right? Like,
CZ, yep.
so you have these people. Like, why was he fawning all over MBS a couple of weeks ago? Oh, because MBS gave his son-in-law $2 billion and is one of, again, the biggest investors in the Trump organization, right? So you're going to fawn over that. These people are in bed with the worst people because they are a crime organization. They
Yep.
are a crime organization that the American people decided to put into office. Do I think that Donald Trump won a second time around? I absolutely fucking do not. Not given these poll numbers, not given the number of rallies and marches that we have seen, not given the people that are showing up, regular folks trapping ICE in garages and what have you. Donald Trump really did think, based on the circle jerk that happens in his orbit, that he is the king of all kings, the god of all gods. He really did think that everything that he was going to do, the American people were going to fawn over themselves about. And the fact is, Waj, why hasn't Donald Trump been at a fucking rally? He's tweeting, he is posting about the congressional race, that the election that is happening right now in Tennessee, 7th congressional district. For folks that are watching, if you are in Tennessee in the 7th congressional district, vote for Afton Bend. Make sure that you get out and vote and that you take people with you, because we are this close to flipping a district that was hardcore red to blue, right? But let
Danielle,
me ask
Danielle,
you
if
this,
I
but
may, plus that district was plus 22 Trump,
right, for
has
so
always gone red, and she might lose. The fact that they're freaking out about this, my God, that means he's in trouble, Daniel.
but here's my question, Wash. He's been posting about this congressional race. Why hasn't Donald Trump gotten on a plane to Tennessee?
Well, how come he doesn't
And
do his rallies
how
anymore?
come but this is the question that mainstream corporate media isn't asking. If Mark Van Epps, who is the one that is running against Afton Ben in Tennessee's congressional district, right? If Donald Trump is really the fucking kingmaker, why was he on a why was he put on speakerphone on Mike Johnson's phone on stage at this fucking rally as opposed to being there in person? We know he doesn't work, right? So we know, you can't tell me like, oh, he was out of the country. No, he was at Mar-a-Lago for fucking Thanksgiving, right? Whatever fucking canned shit that they were eating there. He was there. So why, if this election is so important, why hasn't their Cape Crusader been going horse in Tennessee? Why is he being put on fucking speakerphone?
Well,
Because he's
let's not
unfucking
disrespect.
well.
Let's not disrespect Batman that way. Come on, the Cape Crusader deserves better.
Sorry.
But the reason is because literally, Danielle, to your point, and I'm saying the word literally as it's meant to be said. Today, as of 2 hours ago, Donald Trump, with the cameras all around him, in this cabinet hearing, as this Pete Hegseth literal war crimes, the murder of these fishermen is out coming out in the open. There's leaks, leaks, leaks. And by the way, there's some new breaking news of how they're trying to spin it. This is why you should have competent, qualified DEI hires with experience being the head of, oh, I don't know, the Department Secretary of Defense and I don't know, Department of Homeland Security and the head of FBI. They're all being mocked and ridiculed. This means, folks, what I'm about to read in a second, all of these leaks are coming from within the department against Kash Patel, Chris and Pete Hegseth. But if you saw an hour ago, folks, to Danielle's point, he fell asleep. He literally fell asleep. I'm looking at the video right now as Marco Rubio right now. I'm looking at the clip for an hour ago. Aaron Rupar posted it. Marco Rubio is right next to him, to his right, and he's talking to Donald Trump, talking about Donald Trump. Donald Trump's knocked out. As the cameras are on, something on our show we've talked about a lot is we've kept track each and every single time in the past year Donald Trump falls asleep. I've been mentioning it, right? Each and every single time he comes out in the public, nearly every single time, Danielle, he knocks out.
Yeah.
At the Pope's funeral, Biden was there. All the world dignitaries that were there. There was only one freak who couldn't spend time to wear black and fell asleep. Anyone want to take a guess who fell asleep?
Hmm.
Donald Trump. The Cankles, the palm, which means he's probably taking heavy dose of medication and Lasix. The fact that he got two MRIs, the fact that when he was asked about the MRI, didn't know why he got it. Then
Didn't
yesterday
know
they
what
came out,
body part it was on.
didn't know even what body part it was on. Huh? Where? I don't know. And then yesterday, Caroline Barbie Levitt said preventative MRI. Why did they preventative MRI?
Let me just, for everybody that goes to a regular fucking checkup, an annual physical exam, there is no reason, unless your doctor sees something, for you to get an MRI. Because I'd love for the people that are watching, the nearly 1.1 thousand people that are watching, raise
1,300.
your hand if you've ever received a preventative fucking MRI. There is no such fucking thing, right? You get an MRI because the doctor sees something and they want a closer fucking look at what they see to rule out or to begin treatment on something that they see that shouldn't fucking be there.
Second MRI in 6 months. And then when asked about it, if you haven't followed the news, he didn't know what body part. When asked about why did you pardon your business partner CZ who helped you and your children make money, even though he literally pled guilty to money laundering, he said, "Huh? CZ? Who's that?" And I'm at the point right now, Danielle, and this is not to give Donald Trump any credit or leeway. He's a grifter. He's a liar. He represents, like I've always said, the embodiment of America's two sins, which are racism and greed, capitalism and white supremacy. He's as American as apple pie and slavery. At the same time, even though he's part and parcel of the grift and a liar and complicit in war crimes and so many other crimes, I think he's losing it. Like there's some times where literally I'm looking at him because dementia runs in his family. He is literally, folks, go check out the clip right now. Aaron Rupar's put up all the clips. He has fallen asleep. As he's fallen asleep, he gets that I call it stroke mouth because anyone who's had elders or knows people, if they've had strokes, sometimes they can't help it, right? It's not Bell's palsy, because I had Bell's palsy. Remember I had Bell's palsy last year, Danielle? Thank God it went away after 3 weeks. But once it goes away, usually it goes away. This is more reflective of a person who's had mini strokes, right? So mini strokes, most likely, you never used to do this, folks. Look at him, the stroke mouth. I'm not mocking people who have it. I'm just describing it. Falling asleep, he literally cannot. The cameras are on you. You're a creature of the media. You know how terrible the optics are. He still can't. Like he knows Donald Trump isn't stupid. He's a man who's made his entire career out of playing in the media. Still fell asleep, Danielle. Cankles hides his arm, and like you said, I'm old enough to remember for the past 10 years. I mean, when he wasn't doing work, he never did work. What did he do? Golf and rallies. Now he doesn't even do rallies, Danielle. And to your point, a report came out in The Guardian just a couple of days ago, precisely what you said, that he is surrounded by sycophants. And the sycophants are like, the emperor, you have beautiful clothes. What a brilliant silk robe. Even though his tits are hanging out and he's naked with his micro penis, they're like, oh, look at you, that beautiful pie that you have. Oh, wonderful. So he truly thinks that, aha, I am brilliant. I am right.
Yes. Because everyone that is around him tells him what he wants to hear and shows it. I bet there are no mirrors. Do you know what I'm saying? I bet that whatever mirrors exist in the White House or at Mar-a-Lago or whatever other one of his tacky courses that there are, that the mirror just reflects like him looking like, the biggest bodybuilder in the world, right? Like that's what he gets to see. It's like his face on that body. Like that's how fragile he is. And so, like, we say all this to say, because I don't want folks to misconstrue what we're saying, which is to somehow imply that, like, this is the beginning of the end, meaning that Donald Trump is not going to be dangerous. What Waj and I are saying here, friends, is that this is the beginning of the crumbling, which means that Donald Trump is going to get far more dangerous from
Yep.
this point on out.
Yep.
Because what happens when rats are cornered? What happens when any frightened animal is cornered? They will fight their way out. They will literally fight to the death in order to save themselves. This is going to be a self-preservation mission. And Donald Trump is not going to care who he tears apart, who he blows up, and who he brings down in the process. And so we all have to, I'm saying, to prepare ourselves for the unpreparable, for the most outrageous, the most scandalous things that are about to happen, because they know that they are losing the narrative. They are losing control over they thought that they fired all of these career people. They thought that they had, just sycophantic folks that are in the Department of Defense and at the Pentagon and at Homeland Security and what have you. No, there are still good, brave patriots that are there, and they are the reason why we're getting this information. But my God, the thing I want to know is, where the fuck is Jake Tapper as Donald Trump is falling asleep in front of an entire Oval Office, an entire room filled with cameras and reporters and journalists? Where the fuck is Jake Tapper and his fucking book and his transcripts about, oh, well, we should really be looking into Donald Trump's health and, who is covering this up? How can you cover it up? It's right out in the fucking open. You're in a major meeting, and this 79-year-old bag of shit can't possibly force his eyes open. There's nobody next to him to fucking pinch this piece of shit awake.
They
But you want to
literally,
talk about Sleepy Joe? The fuck out of here. I never once saw Joe Biden close his fucking eyes in any goddamn meeting. Not one time.
Joe Biden is an old man. News at 11. Joe Biden had many mistakes that I criticize. He will be known as being complicit in a genocide. He should have stepped down. He threw Kamala under the bus. Yeah, he sided with the centrists. But Joe Biden at least stayed awake. Joe Biden addressed reporters. When Joe Biden had to test his mental acuity, I tried to be fair. He went off script and talked about NATO for an hour. Can you imagine Donald Trump speaking intelligently about NATO for 5 minutes, Danielle? And
No.
and let me just piss off all the people who I want to piss off. This is your king and daddy, MAGA. This, this old, decaying, cankled piece of shit who can't even stay awake. A man without stamina, a man without grace, a man without any sort of intellectual curiosity, a man who went to allegedly Wharton Business School and doesn't know how tariffs work. And me and Danielle, simple, poor liberal arts majors, know how tariffs work. A man who has bankrupted casinos, a man who was gifted by his a racist, psychopathic father $400 million and squandered it. A man who literally set up a charity to defraud people. A man who set up a university to defraud people. A man who partied with a known rapist and child predator, Jeffrey Epstein, whom Jeffrey Epstein said was my closest friend, a man who has pardoned fraudsters, murderers, money launderers, drug traffickers. This is your king and daddy. And I'm using the word daddy because you use that word on Fox. Tucker Carlson used that word. Jesse Waters used that word. This is your daddy. This is what they make you give for white supremacy. Look what they make you give Republicans. Look at what they made you give Marco Rubio. Look at what they made you give Ted Cruz. Look at what they made you give Kristi Noem. You voluntarily made the Faustian bargain for this useless, cankled piece of shit who can't even bother to stay awake.
Can't
Because
do it.
this is what white supremacy is. It's weak. It's fragile. The weakest chin, the weakest knees, the weakest cankles. A loser's narrative, a loser's culture. White supremacy will always lose. You are losers. You have lost. There's too many of us. This includes white people, black people, brown people, Asian people, the multicultural coalition. You have bland chicken, shitty asses. You have literally no culture, and what culture you have is a monoculture. And what's the best part about your culture is from all of us, the multiculturalism. I want to say this again. You lost, and MAGA has lost. It's a sinking ship. But white supremacy, even though they're losers and will always lose, they do immense damage, Danielle. They immense suffering, tragedy, death, genocide. Look at what's happened in the economy for the past year. All of this was avoidable, folks. But white supremacy would rather burn down
Yep.
the village than share a mansion with the rest of us. And I want to say this also. I want to end on a note of invitation and decency. What Danielle and I have always said, and I'll speak for myself, is even though they literally have tripled down on hate and cruelty, the stuff he said about Somalia, he literally said, Trump, he woke up for a second, he's like, huh, what? Somalis, I don't want them here. Uh, you know, Kristi Noem doubling down on the hate. They're literally promoting, folks, they've gone full neo-Nazi. The Groypers, I'm telling you, folks, you're not in, because you're not a masochist like me, you don't follow the right-wing media ecosystem, don't. It's never been this bad. This is as bad as it's been, maybe the most Islamophobic it's been since 2011. It's maybe even worse. I have a friend who does this for a living, tracks extremism and hate online, messaged me yesterday. He goes, bro, it has never been this bad in the 10 years since I've tracked it. He says the white Christian nationalists are playing for all the marbles. He goes, they've gone full Groyper. I'm talking about full, open, Danielle, white nationalists, white supremacists. Remigrate is a white nationalist word only used in white nationalist circles that calls for ethnic cleansing. The Department of Homeland Security has tweeted it out twice. American sovereignty, the neo-Nazi font, this is all white nationalist language. White genocide, it's a white supremacist conspiracy that Elon Musk and Donald Trump promote. The replacement theory, white supremacist theory. Anti-Semitism, racism, anti-immigrant. Folks, they've gone all in. And I want to just repeat what Kristi Noem said yesterday. Full travel ban on every damn country that's been flooding our nation with killers, leeches, and entitlement junkies. What will happen, Danielle, to the United States of America, which is a country that lives in a world that depends on the world for trade, for labor, for technology, for services, and for national security? What will happen in this monoculture of white supremacy that chooses isolation instead of engagement? Danielle, you and me are simple, we're not economists. Tell me what would happen.
I don't have to tell you what would happen. Look at Russia. I don't have to tell you like, look at these countries that have fed their oligarchs to the point of, to the point of bursting, right? Like, look at the people there. It's not a multiracial, multi-ethnic, but look what he has done, right? Like, look what happened after the destruction of the USSR. Look what has happened into these places. Isolationism never fucking works. Right? Like, America is not self-sufficient. That should be obvious to everyone. We don't have enough oil. We don't have enough resources. And now we don't have enough intellect or innovation. The thinkers are gone, right? They're either in ICE detention, or they've been deported, or they're fleeing, right? So anyone that can fix big problems, right? The big thinkers, the scientists, the architects that they deprofessionalized, the nurses, the doctors, the nurses that they've deprofessionalized. Like, these people are going to look to be elsewhere. So what is going to happen to America? The same thing that happened at the fall of Rome, right? Like, you will see this disintegration of America over the next several decades. It will be a shell of itself, right? Like, the America that we all, like, I say to people to mourn. Because the America that you knew was one, partially make believe, and two, ain't ever coming back.
Yeah, I'm not in our
So
life.
we are not in, and it doesn't even, you shouldn't want it back. Right? Like we need to be about forward progression. We need to be about lifting up and electing people that are about forward progression. Do not tell me about what you are going to bring back, because that tells me that you have no strategy for the future at all. Right? Like you are not ready for it. Like, and that's what Donald Trump rode to fame on. He rode to fame on the past. And I don't think that people understand how fucking stupid that is. Right? Like, nothing that Donald Trump offered was about the future of this country. It was all about going backwards. And frankly, like, you can't put the genie back in the bottle. You can't put the white supremacist hood back on. Like, we all see who you are. We see what you want. And America is going to pay the price of it.
Literally, folks, Donald Trump, he woke up today during his slumber during the cabinet meeting and said to the Somalis, they contribute nothing. I don't want them in our country. I'll be honest with you. To which I respond, thank you for your honesty. As Danielle said, the hoods are off. Danielle and I had our eyes wide open. People of color have been warning about it. So many white folks, not all white folks, but centrist white folks, corporate America, I'm being honest with you, said, no, Waj and Danielle, it's economic anxiety. No, we live in a post-racial society. Oh, you race baiters, you're so hysterical, right, Danielle? Oh, no, come on. My uncle Chet voted for Obama once. Come on now, it's not that. And we said, it is that. It is primarily, not exclusively, cultural and racial anxiety. It is white supremacy. You have to confront it. James Carville last week got half of it. He said, economic populism, Democrats, it's time to go economic populist. But then you have to ditch the woke. Did you see that shitty? Yeah. And what did me and Danielle say? You can't. It's race and class together. You cannot escape racism, white folks. You cannot escape racism, Democratic establishment, corporate centrists. Not all whites. Our crew knows. You know what I'm talking about. Um, the white moderates of the Democratic establishment. You can't. That's why Mamdani won, because he was forced to confront it. That's why Barack won, because he was forced to confront it. All right, it's part and parcel. You can't escape this. And what I will say, I was going to say this, but I forgot. And I'll end on the spirit of generosity, and then we'll promote Danielle and have Allison Gill coming on. Is they need us. You've heard it. They want us to go away. They want to deport us. Look at all the hate mail I've been getting the past week, just on my Twitter. Just go, literally say, go back to India. I'm like, you're so stupid, white supremacist. At least be accurate. I'm born and raised in America. My family's from Pakistan. They don't care. They literally want to send us back, right? They want us to suffer. They need me and Danielle to suffer in order to feel great, not be great,
Yes.
feel great.
Yep.
They need the cruelty and the suffering to feel great. And what I say is, even despite your cruelty, I don't need you to suffer in order to feel great again. I want you and your children to have healthcare. I want them to have economic opportunities. I want to have good infrastructure. I want them to have seasoned meat. I want them to have clean, non-shitty asses. I want them to enjoy our
Absolutely.
barbecue with the good music and the good food and the good-looking women. I want them to have a bright future. I don't need you to suffer in order to feel great again. And that is the big difference that I want you all haters to know. That's the difference between you and me. I want you and your children to succeed. I don't need you to suffer in order to feel great again. You need me and Danielle to suffer in order to feel great again. And guess what? We're not going anywhere. There's too many of us. White supremacists have already lost. The rest of us have to unite. White, black, brown, Asian. Race is a social construct, folks. People are just people. We all have to unite against this tidal wave of hate that is willing to bring it all down, all of it. And I will say my invitation for the white supremacists, the white nationalists, the KKK, the neo-Nazis, or the people who say, I'm not that, but rah, when Kristi Noem and the Department of Homeland Security and Elon Musk and the Groypers and Donald Trump say all this racist, hateful stuff, there is a better way forward. Why live a life of misery? Why live a life of hate? Why live a life of fear? Why live a life of bland chicken? Join the rest of us. Come to our side. Taste the rainbow. Taste the diversity. Your life will be better. It'll be more delicious. You'll be more happy. But the choice is yours. This is the Left Hook. I'm with Danielle of the Damn Digest. We have no paywalls. Everything is for free. Allison's on in a second. One moment, Allison. I'm going to have Allison on to talk about Pete Hegseth and Kash Patel and all the great scandals. But I will say this is I have a special on Danielle for 3 days where everything's free, but it's called the Terrible Capitalist Black Friday Sale,
Yes.
where I do 25% off. So if you are a free subscriber to me and Danielle, folks, we're completely independent. Clearly, you can see why. It's only 375 per month, and I've kept it now $38 a month. So it'll be up in the post. It's up right now if you check it out. It's the link. I'll try to find it right now if I can. I'll post it. But Danielle, shamelessly promote yourself.
Yes, hi friends. I am the editor of the Damn Digest, co-host Democracy Ish with Waja Hot, and host the Danielle Moody Show that is live at 5 p.m. Eastern on my YouTube channel. I too am running a promotion on
Yay!
my channel, which is I think it's 20% off of an annual subscription. So folks, do consider checking that out if you have the resources to do so. Understand though that none of my content will ever go behind a paywall, but if you have the ability to support and become a paid subscriber, do consider doing so. But know that you will not miss out if in fact you do not have the ability to support monetarily. But we appreciate you. Like, comment, subscribe, share, help the algorithm. And thanks, Waj.
Thank you all. And we'll probably be back again tomorrow. And folks, if you can join me in 1 minute, because Allison Gill of Mother She Wrote is coming on, and she's going to break down just the amazing cluster F of scandals coming out from the Secretary of War and the FBI. It's so good, Dan. We deserve these things.
Tell Allison I said hello. And she must come on and do Democracy Ish with the both of
I'll
us.
tell her right now. I'll tell her right now.
Okay.
Thanks all, everyone. Take care, and please, oh please, don't be a fascist.